worked. He's down. I gotta go get a cooler because I'm keeping that one. First hunt with the keep hammering. First hunt with the keep hammering. I got him. Beautiful boar, man. He just came in from behind the old stand. Just walked right into the feeder. 18 yards. Smoked him. Four blade. Grim Reaper carnivore. With my wasp stung eye. Wow. What an amazing deal, man. Wow. Can't wait to go look at it. Welcome to the Mark Smith Podcast. As hunters, fishermen, and outdoorsmen and women, life has been a journey that's taken us to high mountain peaks and low river bottoms. We've had ups and downs, trials, tribulations, and in the end, we find joy. Joy only found through the good news of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. These are our stories, so pull up a seat, lean in, and enjoy. Now, let's get to the episode.
Yeah, 1% better is
1% better is not a negative. You're going the right direction.
Yeah. It does something.
Are we on? All right, welcome to the Mark Smith Podcast. This is episode number 8.
8.
All right, because we're not counting the Salt and Light. That's
not counting the Salt and Light.
Yep. Salt and Light are their own series. This is number 8 of the regular, nonsensical, what's on your mind today? Let's set out in the man cave and talk about it podcast.
Right, praying for bulls, that offends people.
Praying for bulls.
Talking about Bigfoot, that offends people.
Hey,
talking about light arrows.
Two things that would get people fired up is Jesus and Bigfoot. You talk about those two things, Bigfoot and Jesus, you're gonna get some comments. And I think sadly, more people might believe in Bigfoot than Jesus.
Yeah.
That might be a problem for us to help figure out.
So that's the funny thing is you put, because my other content is all faith-based, right? Mm-hmm. Minimal traction, minimal getting the word out there. If it is getting the word out there, it's to the people who absolutely do not want to hear it, and then or agree with it, which my content's for people who agree with it, not really the other way. But whenever I was making my hot sauce business, you throw Bigfoot out there, anything, and it's just like a lot of traction.
Yeah, they want to talk about the easy stuff.
That's what they want to hear. That's what. So, but you can talk about Bigfoot, but only if you drive a Subaru.
And you better believe it if you're going to talk about it.
Yeah, you gotta believe it. So, but you can't say you're a hunter, truck driver. No, and then talk about Bigfoot. No, then you're full of it. BS even. No matter how crazy your story is.
Are you stereotyping right now?
Oh, absolutely. Well, they're not there for no reason.
Right. They're there for a reason. Well, we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about today? Hog hunting.
We're going to talk about hog hunting today.
You know why? It's March. It's cool out today. A little rainy, a little cool. Any typical day that I didn't have a broke leg, this would be a day I'd be slipping off in the woods going hog hunting. Mm-hmm. Those hogs, after a nice rain like it is right now today, it'll sprinkle. And as soon as that lets up, that ground's all, it's easy for them to root. You can catch them out in those road beds, out those open bottom sloughs, picking up old acorns that didn't get, just the remnants of the old acorns. But then it's easier to root around out in a slough. Right after a rain, I can tell you right now, Dowdens, tonight, after this rain, was almost a guaranteed you kill a hog out there. One of my hunting spots. But it's March, and March for us has always meant hog hunting time. And so it must have been on both of our minds, because last night I was like, hey, you want to talk about hog hunting tomorrow? And you're like, yes, I do want to talk about hog hunting. But we have some cool stuff. We have some cool factual data about hog hunting we wanted to share, and that'll lead us into the hog hunting tactics and stuff.
Yeah, we'll discuss the hogs.
What as a species?
Why hogs? Yeah. Why is this even a thing?
So this is even talk about? So you got this from the Chat GPT, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but I know that it's true. I love.
Yeah. So it's data that you can align with.
Say what you want about AI, but AI really, some parts of it, especially for research and exploratory and discovery, dude, it's huge.
Yeah, don't ask it about opinions.
No,
But if you want like
facts.
data,
It will
actual
go
data.
pull actual, and then if you go, you know me, man, I trust but verify everything.
Yeah.
But I fact check even AI, and man, it's getting its sources from where I am because it all lines up. So the history of wild boar in America, they didn't start here, but in the 1500s they were introduced by Hernando de Soto. I bet every rancher in Texas wishes that guy had never showed up. It's credited, Hernando de Soto is credited with first bringing domestic pigs to what is now the southern United States in 1539. Why? They were a portable food supply, self reproducing livestock, could survive in wild if they escaped, and they did escape. Pigs were turned loose intentionally, lost during expeditions, allowed to free range by settlers. By the 16 to 1700s, feral hog populations were established in Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, and the Gulf Coast. So all along the Gulf Coast region, Mississippi,
Mhm.
Alabama, Louisiana, South Texas, we've had pigs forever down here. Sounds like. Well, Arkansas too, because I mean their college mascots are Razorback, which I always thought was super cool. For whatever reason, you know, if you're gonna look at a cool mascot, but of all places, Arkansas,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So the wild boar editions, 1800s to 1900s, the hogs we see today are not just escaped from pigs, escaped farm pigs, obviously. Um, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, European wild boar were imported for sport hunting. Wealthy landowners wanted European style big game. Notable introductions were North Carolina mountains, Texas ranches, and California. These wild boar interbred with feral domestic hogs. The result? Hybrid vigor. Bigger, tougher, more adaptable animals. Little trivia for you. One of the very first things I was ever going to do in the hunting industry that never happened, but I got invited, was a wild boar hunt in California with Cameron Haynes.
Really.
Yep. Ray Howell was on PSC Pro staff at the time, and he runs a big bow hunting, it's called Kicking Bear Youth Camp Ministry. But he had gotten with some industry people. I think Bob Fromm from Performance Archery out of San Diego was going to go. Cam Haynes was going to go. Ray Howell was going to go, and Cam invited me, and I was going to go. That's right after we met him at ISC show. But I was going to go with him, and that hunt fell through. Cam couldn't go. Something else happened, so Ray closed it down. Well, I'd already had that appetite. I want to go hog hunting. That's why I ended up going to Texas. Did you know that? That's why me and Sean went to Texas to South Hills Ranch, because I didn't get to go on a hunt that I planned on. And rather than sit around bummed out, you know, lip hanging out, I just did something else. So me and
Yeah.
Sean went on
Nice.
our own. Yeah. Um, the hogs we see today are not just escaped farm pigs. And I already read that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So why they became so invasive? Extreme reproduction. Females can breed 6 months at 6 months old. 1 to 2 litters per year, 4 to 12 piglets per litter. So every sow has a potential of dropping 24 babies on the ground per year. Now times that times 100 sows.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,200 pigs, man. 2,400 pigs. It's a lot of pigs. I don't know math, but that's a lot of pigs.
It's a lot of
That
pigs.
means a single sow can produce dozens of hogs in just a few years. Very few large mammals in North America reproduce that fast. No natural predators at scale. While coyotes, mountain lions, and bears may kill piglets, there is no consistent large scale predator control on adult hogs across most of the US. Not only did AI find this info for you, the way it categorizes it is so easy to read through. I feel like I'm reading the news.
Right.
I feel like Evan on Evan Almighty. I'm just sitting there reading the news, man. Historically, or Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Put a question mark at the end. Historically, large predator numbers were reduced. Historically, large predator numbers were reduced. Hogs filled the vacuum. Hogs are a vacuum. Highly adaptable diet. Wild hogs are omnivores. Roots, crops, fawns, ground nesting birds, eggs, insects, carrion, and reptiles. They will literally eat almost anything. That makes them drought resistant, habitat reliable, flexible, and season proof. Hogs are invasive species. We've determined that.
It said season proof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's well, they're detriment to like turkey nests. They'll come. That's why we don't have turkeys in East Texas now. And they kept reintroducing them, but it's just not working because the hogs, between the fire ants and the hogs and floods, the hogs will just eat a whole nest. They'll come up on a 6 or 8 eggs in the nest, and they'll eat the nest. Like anything with feathers that smells like something, they'll just eat it. And just that's why. And of course they compete with the big game. Our whitetail deer herd suffers when the hogs thrive because they eat up all the crop mast, the heart mast, the acorns, pecans, things like that. Intelligence. Hogs are extremely intelligent. That is a fact. Hogs are very smart and they adapt quick. After pressure, they go nocturnal. They change travel patterns, avoid traps, avoid areas where sounders were previously shot. This makes hunting alone ineffective for population control. Man, we've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
We feel like we get in a spot. They say you go to the well too many times.
Yeah.
That's one time with hogs. You go in their spot, you got big sounder coming in regularly on a feeder. You go in there and you're thinking, I'm going to go in there and just shoot them a couple of days. Nope. After that one time, one shot, they're done. They immediately go nocturnal. For us, that's our experience. We're not telling you how your hogs are, but for us, they're heavily pressured. And once you shoot one out, they know and they're not coming back. So you got to get thermal or go out at night or set traps. And our traps, once you trap a sounder, it's done. You can have 50 hogs come there and you catch 10, those other 40 are gone. They catch on real fast.
Yeah.
Um, Human assisted spread. This is a big one. In the 20th century, some hunters illegally transported hogs to create local hunting opportunities, stock new areas. This accelerated spread across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, the Midwest, even parts of the North. Thinking like Michigan, Wisconsin, maybe Illinois has a few. How big is the problem now? Estimates says there are 6 to 9 million feral hogs in the U.S. I feel like we have that many right there in Jefferson.
Yeah.
Uh, they're found in 35 plus states. 35 out of 50 states have them. Massive populations in Texas, 2 to 3 million alone. Yeah. They cause billions in agricultural damage annually, habitat destruction, competition with deer and turkey, which we already mentioned for feed, disease spread, precocious to whatever, swine fever. They root and destroy native grasslands, wetlands, crop fields, forest regeneration. It looks like after a rainstorm, we can go down in our woods and it'll look like somebody took a tiller down through the woods and just try to going down some of those our hay meadows.
Mm-hmm.
You can hardly even bale hay in there; just bounce you out of that tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why hunting alone hasn't solved it? Important point. To reduce a hog population, 60 to 70% must be removed annually.
And you've said that before.
Oh, many times. I've known that for a long time. So for every 100 hogs you have, you need to be killing 70 of them annually. Imagine that. So if you have 500 hogs on your place, you got to be killing 400 of them. I mean, that's a lot of hogs to kill because they reproduce faster than you can eliminate them. Yeah. If you're just sport hunting them.
It's not like a normal big game animal where it's going to drop.
Yep. Recreational hunting typically removes far less. That's why states now use aerial gunning, like with helicopters. I think that was first seen on Hogman or Pigman and Quokka, Ryan Quokka, and maybe Ted Nugent. I feel like Ted Nugent would do that. Some of those hunting shows, they show dudes with shotguns and ARs just mowing hogs down from a helicopter, and at night with thermals. I mean, to us, coming from Colorado back to Texas, they seemed like a viable big game animal until we realized what an invasive species was.
Yeah.
And so we still struggle with mass murdering them as we should, but we still love the sport hunting of them because we eat them, right? We eat everything we kill. So it breaks our hearts to go out and shoot 30 hogs and drag them off and leave them for the buzzards, which they'll clean them up in a day or two. But it's just a personal preference. We prefer eating the ones we shoot. And we also, process them and give them away, right? So
Yeah.
we'll get into some of that here later. From sport animal to ecological invader. They went from imported livestock, escape from farm animals, European game animal experiment to hybrid super adapter, high reproduction, invasive species, ecological disruptor. They are considered one of the most destructive invasive mammals in North America. I agree. They are not producers. They are not a resource. They're fun to hunt and they provide some meat, but they don't do anything constructive for our land that we've seen. They're considered to be like cockroaches and coyotes. Like you just can't get rid of them and they bring no value. Mosquitoes too. I think mosquitoes feed birds, but they don't have natural predators. Very few times have we ever gotten a trail cam picture with a piglet in a coyote's mouth. I've been it's like 2 times in the 10 years I've been on our lease, and we have thousands of hogs. I think I've seen a coyote picture with a piglet in its mouth maybe twice.
Yeah.
Never a bobcat, but I'm sure a bobcat. The thing is, it's a high risk, low reward. Like that coyote stands just as much chance getting tore up by a big sow as he does catching a meal. So it's a gamble for them, and they know that, and so they don't mess with them too much. Other than coyotes, there are no other natural predators in East Texas unless you know there's a Boggy Creek monster running around on your place like ours. But other than that, nothing else. The only thing that our hogs have to watch out for is us and the hunters on our place and our traps and our guns and bows. So that said, me and Travis both, we used to view the hogs as a viable big game. Like, man, don't trap them. Don't. What would happen was we would target a really big boar that we
Yeah.
wanted to hunt, like bow hunt in daylight, like sport hunt him as a big game adversary, and then some some of the guys would trap them and then just shoot them and drag them off. We're like, man, don't do that. We
Yeah.
wanted to hunt that boar, but they can't pick and choose what hogs go into, and they get in the business of killing hogs. They're not being selective. So at least they did. That big one-eyed boar is the one that hurt the most. Back in 2018, there was a giant one-eyed boar
Yeah,
that
because you're putting a lot of effort in
I
that.
hunted him like a big buck, a lot of days on stand. And I had asked them, hey, if y'all ever trap him, just turn him loose. I want to bow hunt him. Well, they didn't. And they wanted to keep the skull, so they trapped him. It turns out they just shot him to pieces with a 17 HMR, which shooting a big boar with a 17, you got to shoot him a bunch of times to kill him. And that just kind of broke my heart. But it is what it is. But I am glad they boiled the skull and we have it in camp now to see it because it had a big old broken one tusk. He's a big boar. I mean, his head dwarfs. They said he wasn't that big. And I think they said that so it wouldn't hurt my feelings. But I think that was as close to a 300 pounder as we've had. He was big. That was a big boar. But we like to target big boars, and it's March. Biggest boar I ever killed on the wall over there, 245-pound lean boar that I shot in March. It was a true trophy animal, and I hunted that boar specifically. I had pictures of him in that slough, and I started getting daylight pictures of him. And back then I didn't have cell cameras, so I was going and checking cards. So you're always days behind on that deal.
Yeah.
But I had checked and had 2 or 3 daytime pictures of him going down to those wallows, and I had a permanent stand hanging close to those wallows for deer, for a water source. And I remember it was March. I want to say it was around St. Patrick's Day, like March 17th ish. I just took a day off, afternoon, ran down, got in the stand at 3, and like 3:15, this giant boar comes out of this thicket, and I shot him with my bow at like, man, 12 yards. I just couldn't believe it. I'd wanted that boar so bad, and he came out, and I got him, and then I didn't know what to do with him. I got down there and went out that slough. I was like, "Oh, it's a huge hog. I don't know how to get over here." So I called Tommy. Tommy called Larry. Those guys both, man, jumped up with their shoes on and came out that night. And then Tommy went out with me, Tommy Young, and he waited out in the slough with me. And that's when I figured out I was at the very, very back part end of Dowden's Road now that we know is the end of the road back in there on a little wheel pad. And so he called Larry and said, hey, if you can get down Mr. Dowden's Road all the way to the end, just come back there. And man, sure enough, man, like an hour later in the dark, see headlights, and I didn't know there was even Dowden Road was over there yet. I not explored that yet. So here comes this road truck down through the woods, and Larry was able to drive his little Tacoma, the Gold Nugget, right back up within feet of that hog. And Tommy Stowe was with him. So Tommy Stowe, Larry, Tommy, and me got that boar in the back of that truck. And looking back now, that's just another hog.
Yeah.
But for them, they knew how excited I was, and they knew how much I'd been hunting that hog. I mean, I blew a poster of him up on what is that? One of those canvases and hang
Yeah.
it in the house of the cabin. I was just intrigued with this hog. I'd been hunting him since December. Here it is March, and I killed him. And funny thing is, I missed him twice with a rifle during deer season when he first came out. I was sighted in too high. Got back from Colorado with my 257, sighted in really high, mule deer hunting. Came in that thicket. I missed him twice with a rifle,
Wow.
and then I got him with my bow. And they were super. It was super impressive that because they were like, "Wow, this guy stayed on this thing, man! Like a big game animal, you know." And I got him, and so I say that because that's how I viewed hogs as a viable big game species to fair chase hunt daylight with a bow, like, you know, with my Hoyts, to get one. Well, I did. And then it wasn't long after that, I started seeing the benefit of when they started trapping. They told us, look, Mark, this ain't our hog lease that has some deer on it. This is our deer lease that we have invasive hogs on. You got to get that out of your head. We're not going to kill all these hogs. Because I was really not on board with them killing all these hogs early on. But I was the newest member of the deer lease, right? So I had to learn the law of the land. Now I've killed so many of them and have been around so many. I don't even want to see a hog on camera. I don't want one anywhere near my woods because they just mow down the food source, and they'll eat your fawns, they'll eat your chicks if you have turkeys, and they're just bad news. But if you're gonna have them and you're gonna hunt them and you want to go hunt hogs, they are fun, fun, fun to hunt. And I prefer daylight bow hunting them. Some guys totally get their kicks shooting them with thermals. Some guys love trapping them. Some guys like getting in helicopters, and I think they get in army tanks if they could. But me, I don't want to just mass murder them, and I don't definitely don't want to blow them up, make them suffer, or any of that stuff. You know, I've seen some horrible things done to hogs, like guys taping tannerite together and then just buried it in a pile of like steel ball bearings.
Oh yeah.
And let the hogs come in and shoot that, and just you see hogs limping off in every direction. That's not cool. I'm not into that. Um, I don't even want to see that. Like that's just that's not right. But man, some guys get their kicks off finding and putting hogs through pure misery. They hate them worse than we do, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it's like I get this. I get where they're. I get the entertainment aspect of it, but they don't. They don't take into consideration all these things are accounted for.
Yeah.
God knows what He makes, and He has value in everything He's created. Just because He says it's a in Old Testament times an unclean animal to eat, there's for obviously health and cultural
Yeah.
purposes because of their mass production, the Gentiles used them for those food sources and all that. And so there's a lot that goes into that. But the new modern theology is it's just another varmint and shoot it, throw it in the trash, and it's just a problem. And to to an extent, that's true. But there's just no value. So part of being human is respecting what God's created.
Yeah, we can't breathe life into any of these things. We can only take their lives, and so we feel we're going to be accountable. We are going to have an account of every life taken, and we want it to matter. And on that same topic, once Jesus came, he said all things are clean.
Yeah.
It's just eat the food. Don't get caught up in the weeds, man. Eat the food. Eat the catfish.
Yeah.
Eat the pigs. It's okay. Jesus made all that okay. If you didn't know that, you know it now, and just go look it up. It's in the Bible. Yeah. Jesus said, no, I've come. This is food. Arise, kill, and eat. Go do it, man. So I don't think he said that, but yeah, it's in there. We can eat catfish. We can eat pigs. It's fine. I'm so thankful for that because I'm a Texan. I love brisket. I love pork ribs, and
Yeah.
I love fried catfish. But pigs, I get it. They're invasive. We got to kill them, and I'm glad we have guys willing to do that. It's just not for me. I just like to hunt them, and I would say the majority. See, I don't think people realize how many we take. was talking to some friends at hunting shows, and they're like, how many hogs would you say you kill a year according to your pictures on Instagram? Kill 10 or 15 a year? I'm like, no, 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 no. I kill over 100 pretty much every year. And for a while there, I was killing over 100 every year. I'm like, oh, well, you only had like, yeah, I had 10 pictures up last year on my Instagram of hogs, but I only take pictures if it's over like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
You never seen the picture. I had 4 or 5 laying there that were 75 pounds. Like when I just got in a mode and shot some, because there are times when you need to shoot when you can see them when you're trying to take them out. But the thing about me and Travis is we skin most of those. There are a few times when hogs have really severe wounds, and I found that in a couple where they had real big pus pockets in their hams from teeth broken off in them and stuff. I'm not going to feed that to my family or anybody's family. So the buzzards do get to eat. But even when we go out and shoot hogs for invasive species, 3 or 4 at a time, we keep one, we skin them all, and then we give them away. We'll put them on ice and call friends to come pick them up or take them. Or even sometimes I keep 2 in the freezer all the time, one for my consumption and one for giving away. I love having a hog in the freezer in breakfast sausage or sausage smoked German links. Someone's never tried wild game. Give so if someone's never tried wild game, you know how precious a mule deer roast is, right? You don't want to part with that. And someone comes up to you and you give them a mule deer roast. If they don't cook it right and marinate it and cook, they're going to take 2 bites and go, "This thing's leather," and throw it away. And that thing's like gold to me. Well, if I've got 10,000 pounds of hog meat I could get every year, why not make that into something very palatable and give that away and let them introduce someone to meat that way? So just like my neighbor, the guy that gave me this table, for example, lives right down the street. Precious man, sweet guy, great guy. Never grew up around hunting, never had meat. And I said, hey, and we were talking in the garage one day. He stopped by and saw me when we were building this building. And I said, hey, we're talking about hunting. He goes, yeah, I've never tried it. I'm like, where? Here's some deer burger. Brown that up. I'll start you off with the easy stuff. Brown that deer burger up. Put that in your spaghetti or your chili or whatever. It's good protein, good meat. You'll like it. It's mild, mixed with fat. It'll be good. And then I gave him a couple of pounds of breakfast hog sausage. And I gave him a whole pack of links. He was back at my house like 2 weeks later. Hey man, you got some more of that? Yeah, man, I got more of that. So I keep hogs around to give away because it's very palatable, delicious, easy. The sausages are fully cooked. You throw them in the microwave, nuke them, put them in a bun with mustard. You got a
So
great.
where does that come from? Then that don't eat hogs. They're nasty. They're
Well,
rotten.
there
Where does
have
that
been
come
some
from?
hogs. So all the hogs that we kill, we have a great skin and shed. So we have running water, we have a hoist, we have a freezer, we have everything we need to properly process on our place. So our experience starts with preparation. So we go out, let's say we go out and kill a 150-pound boar that's been breeding. That sucker might smell rank. From his semen to musk glands to whatever that juicy, gooey, white, yellow crust around his penis sheath is, that's what they're smelling. That thing smells like bad.
It's not great.
It's not good.
It's not, it's not
So
great.
you kill one, it smells like that. Well, let's just go throw them in the river. And that justifies in your mind, I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do nothing with it. And without hurting anybody's feelings, that's a very lazy man's approach to, I killed this for fun. Now I don't have to do nothing with it because it
Right.
stunk. Well, I challenge you, my friend, to take that thing, throw it in the bed of the truck, go hang it up, get your water hose out and spray them down, clean them real good. And I wear, on all deer and hogs, I wear those shoulder length plastic skinning gloves that you get at Walmart. I buy a whole case of them every year. And I go through a case of them every year, but I put the
Yeah.
long plastic sleeves with latex gloves on, and I hang the hog, and I take a water hose and we wash all that goo and funk and musk off of it. None of that touches our meat. By the time we're done skinning and cleaning a hog, the actual meat that's under the hide, under the glands, under the fur, under the penis sheath, and all the goo that goes along with it, once you strip that off of the hog meat is just beautiful, pink, viable, palatable, awesome protein. It's like the meat is great. They have glands, just like deer have glands, squirrels have glands. They call them kernels. Don't cut those. When you're cleaning your hog, you're cutting your meat out. Don't cut those big white glands in the joints. That's going to be foul. Cut
Yeah.
your joint, but just treat it like good meat. It is going to be delicious. It smokes good.
Oh, yeah.
It's smoked. You've smoked. We've shot some pigs before that were 20 pounds, and you skin them like a coon or a rabbit and throw them whole on a smoker. That meat just falls off the bone. Those
That's
are
so good.
delicious. Those are so good. But yeah, we just take pride in the meat and clean it up. And but we're responsible too. If we cut one open, I've never cut one open that had any kind of visual worm, but then any disease it has, you won't see. So you have to cook it, get it to 165 degrees, sustained in the meat. I'm sure it's 145 to 165. I'm guessing. I'm not saying make boot leather out of it. Don't overcook it, but get it warm enough that it kills the bacteria. It's fine to eat. I've never gotten. We've eaten hundreds of hogs over the last 10, 15 years and been sick 0 times from it.
No, yeah.
We just take care of it and clean it up. Back to them being invasive species. We're talking about wild hogs from a deer lease management standpoint. We're not the ones out there mass murdering pigs. We're sport hunting them, but we also value the guys on the lease that do the work, that do trap them. Something we thought about was if you're a rancher or a farmer watching this, or you hunt a ranch or a farmer, you know what damage wild hogs do to if you had you got 600 acres of beans planted and corn planted and all this stuff. That is different. That's your livelihood. Those hogs to you, we realize those are just roaches. You got to get rid of them, and you may, whatever. You're not, am I saying you should eat all those? Heck, I realize that's not even realistic. And it's none of my business. That's your land. Do what you want with those pigs. But yeah, you got to kill them. They're going to tear your property up. But another option would be if you know a trapper or have the means to build your own automated trap.
And so shout out to Critter Cartel, but hiring out a person to go take those out in one night with a couple of buddies or a couple employees that have the night vision to go out in the thermals. They're gonna shoot about 5 to 6 out of a sounder of maybe 12, and then the rest are gonna move off. And like we already talked about, once you do that, they're going to move to a different part of your property,
Yeah.
and it's going to be more costly if you keep hiring these guys out to come take care of that problem.
Yeah.
Um, if you do the trapping, you're more likely to get the entire sounder in there. It's better for eradication and getting some of your money back too,
Yeah,
as,
'cause you
as
can
an option. Yeah, because they hide their injuries so well. Their skin seals right back up so well that you may get a bunch, or if you're going to sell it and process it, and if it becomes about the meat,
Yeah.
then yeah, there's going to be some eventually some bad meat from some bad fights in there.
Yeah. So we hunt them like a big game species personally, and then when we kill more than we can eat, we typically skin them. We're definitely not saying that's the only right way to do it because if you got a lot of land and a lot of hogs, you got a lot of problems. So we realize you got to take care of that problem however you can. But back to hunting them, I kill. There for a while, we were killing about 100 a year each, just getting after it. But then they started trapping them. We just don't have as many right now as we did at one time. But when we were shooting them, I would say we'll get into the hunting part of it. There have been times we just get in the Jeep and go bouncing around, run up on sounders and shoot us a couple out of it. Most of mine have been with my 22 250. And we just we teach the grandkids and the kids that come out and hunt with us and young hunters and hunters never hunted. If they're shooting a bigger caliber like a 300 blackout, 270, 30-06, shoot them right behind the shoulder. I don't care how big the biggest bore in the world is. A good, well-constructed bullet out of a 270 or 30-06 is going to kill that hog. When they're shooting those 22 center fires or even rim fires, we tell them to aim right between the eyeball and the ear, just right between here and the temple. And every one of them that our kids have shot have gone just straight down. Now, your boy even killed one with a shotgun one time out of a tree stand. But I've killed a bunch with a 22 250, but we've shot them with everything from a 223 all the way up to a 300 Weatherby Magnum, and they all work great. But
don't don't shoot him in the side of the head with a 300 Win Mag deer season XP though.
No,
that gets messy.
That was.
I mean, you can, yeah. I mean,
if you want to do anything with
your
it,
squeamish don't. Other than that, it is.
If you shoot them behind the ear with a 22 250, you still pretty much can get your skull, boil your skull on a trophy boar or something. But when you start shooting them between the eyes and farther in the face with the bigger rifles, you can still mount it. The bullet never exits hardly ever on the big bores. And it'll just be a pinhole that they can sew up, but the skull turns into a sack of marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess. But those we've shot them with buckshot out of 20 gauges and 12 gauges. We've shot them with slugs, bows, crossbows. Have we shot any with pistols? We shot at them with pistols. I've killed them in traps with pistols, but I never shot one out in the wild with a pistol. But my primary favorite way of hunting them is with this right here, my Hoyt. And I'll tell you this: we had a podcast and we talked about arrow weight, skinny arrow versus fat arrow. If there's a place for a heavier arrow in East Texas, it's hunting hogs specifically, penetration wise. And I've shot them with all kinds of broadheads and all kinds of different arrows. A thicker, heavier, denser arrow is definitely my choice on big hogs. And I like expandable broadheads. I shoot my recovery on all broadheads. I'm talking from Muzzy Trocars to um, Slick Tricks, Muzzy, Slick Trick, and all kinds of mechanicals. I was having marginal results on pigs hitting the rib cage and further back. I've never found one gut shot, especially. And I hit a bunch of them. The majority of the ones I hit poorly were with my recurve, with that's just a two blade contact head. There's not enough blood to find them. But out of my compound, I shoot everything: elk, whitetail, mule deer, hogs. I shoot everything with these gold tip Velocity Pro 300s, 8.8 grains per inch with a regular 14 grain insert, 100 grain Grim Reaper broadhead, and AAE vanes. This whole arrow is about 390 grains, shooting about 312, 315, 315 feet per second out of my bow. I don't care how big the bore is. I'm not going to shoot him behind the shoulder with this broadhead or any broadhead because they have that shield. But my favorite way to shoot big bores is let them get quartered away and come in mid rib because that shield starts further up on the rib cage around the front of their shoulders. This cartilage build up this big shield made out of cartilage for fighting, for running through that brush, fighting, just being boys. Yeah. They got that thick shield, and we've skinned them before. When you're skinning a hog from the top down, hanging, once you get to that part, it's the hardest thing in the world to skin because it's like trying to peel 3/4 inch plywood off of a hog. It's hard. So when you start playing with that, you realize I'm not putting that any. I don't know how many hogs we've killed that's had bullets mushroomed up in those things with infected wounds where it just didn't do nothing. But I shoot big bores. When they come in, I let them get kind of quartered away, and I shoot them right behind the shoulder or a little further back, and I get good penetration, never all the way through. I usually get up to the labeling on the arrow about right there, and that'll get you into through the liver, back of the lungs, and into the heart. But what I love about these Grim Reapers is an 1.5 by 1.25 cut 4 blade. My recovery rate on hogs has gone to 100% since I started shooting this and really picking my shots. The hog's heart sets right behind this elbow right here. When they're standing there, you want to shave the end of that elbow off because their heart is low and forward and it's right tucked between their two front legs. So if you're quartered away, you shoot right behind that shoulder low, that's thin enough skin, you're going to get in there and hit the lung and heart. Big bore a little further back just so that you're not coming in contact with that shield at all and a big shoulder bone. But when I shoot them with this, what I like about these is they retract back. That hog's running off 99% of the time. I find my arrow laying in the dirt with the blades all folded forward, closed, and that big old hole open on that hog, and they die within 60, 70 yards typically, up to 200-pound bores. Yeah. When I find them. So that's my setup. But if I was set out, and I have set out to hunt a specific big bore, there is a place for heavy poundage small diameter, heavy arrows and good cutting broadhead, but I still would not shoot a two blade or a single bevel two blade traditional type head. It just doesn't put enough blood on the ground. In East Texas, you can lose a blood trail like that in the thicket. You want all the blood you can get on the ground. So I don't want just two blades. I want four blades, stiff, going fast, enough energy to penetrate. Um, but yeah, that's my setup. But if you were like, hey man, I shoot 90 pounds and I like shooting 250 spine, Easton Axis arrows or gold tip Pierce platinum 250 spine, 600 grains. That hog hunting, you wouldn't be overshafted, but I still wouldn't shoot a single bevel cut on contact head. Personally, me, it just doesn't put enough blood on the ground. If you put it in the exact right spot, it's still on a real big boar, that wound could seal up and you could, it's that one extra drop of blood that turns you this way or that way to stay on the trail. If you have dogs, they'll find the hog, but we don't use dogs for hogs. We just find them with our own aging eyeballs. So that's my choice. And like I said, I started shooting this head 3 years ago. And ever since I did even marginally hit hogs, I find 100% of the time with this broadhead. I like it. You're shooting a crossbow, so it don't really matter. Your trocars go through them, but like a 30-06, so it
Yeah,
don't really matter.
yeah, they
Talk about that. Your biggest boar,
yeah.
like a nice 190, 175 to 190 pound, big blonde boar. You shot with a crossbow at 30 yards. I think around 30 yards.
Yeah, and to give perspective, because people always get really intense and they already start. I can already feel the bristles come up on some people when you bring up a crossbow. Just to put myself outside of a judgment zone here. My crossbow is from like 2018. It The max yardage I would ever shoot this thing at would be probably 30 yards because you lose so much
Well, he
energy
gave
getting
it to
that.
you. Wait, he gave you that crossbow in 2017. He
So
already had it a couple of years, so it's like a 2014 bow,
is it
probably
okay?
crossbow. Yeah.
So it it's not what you think. Would I still shoot a modern one? Absolutely, just because of efficiency purposes. But that one in particular, I've made better shots with my compound on further game than I would take on this thing. But this thing is just so if they're close right there, it's super effective. This one, this big, so weird. He's big and he's not big. If I show you the half end, he's like that big. His front end was like that big. So he comes in. I had not seen him in person, and I had a video of him later on that I found later on in the season. I didn't even know I had. So
Right.
I'm really glad I had him alive. He comes in and he gets quartering away, and I shot right behind the ribs, aiming for his elbow on the other side. So it right behind his ribs, hit that in that shoulder on the other side, had about that much of the bolt sticking out, and he ended up snapping that about probably 25 yards into the thicket, and then he only went probably another 30 yards after that. He's like 50, 60 yards inside of there, but it hit him perfect. That's a Muzzy Trocar.
Yeah.
That's
Those
what
troll cars.
that's what really runs great out of mine.
Yeah. And a crossbow bolt is like a 22 diameter carbon shaft. That is so that it's only like that long. That is a
Yeah,
stiff
mine are
shaft.
20 inches.
That's stiff, man. And he was able to break that off.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a crossbow bolt break like that. That was pretty tough. But we found that hog. You actually got that one mounted because he was so
So
cool.
cool.
We had big old teeth, big old nice hog, man.
Yeah, Carson's bore was 208, and measuring up my skull versus his skull.
Yeah,
But if you looked at them side by side, mine's like half the length and got it like half the butt. It looks like a little warthog.
yeah. It was a cool deal. It had just as big a teeth too, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That was really cool.
It was a cool joker.
I remember tracking that way to old Zach
That's the
Dowden. Zach Dowden was down there with us tracking. We were like, we lost the blood for a second, and you turn, you're like, oh no, there he is, right there.
yeah. And, I mean, that's the only thing I had to track with that thing.
Yeah, everything else dropped like shot with a rifle.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
It's your deal, man. Hey, you want to crossbow hunt? Have at it. If it brings you joy, do it. But we've shot pigs with crossbows, rifles, What we haven't shot one muzzleloader yet either, and got it.
And well, yeah,
We've hit one
and
or two, but never
yeah,
got them. Pigs are just hard. Pigs are fun, and they keep you sharp. And if you really want to recover them, you're gonna have to aim small. You have to pick your spot and make great shots if you want to 100% recover your hogs, or as close to 100% as you can get. You can't just willy nilly go out there and go, well, I had the pin somewhere behind his shoulder. That never ends well because you're going to liver shoot them. And the thing about pigs is once you hit them, they don't bleed much anyway. Not like you heard that saying, stuck blood like a stuck pig. I don't even know where that come from because pigs don't bleed like deer bleed or anything else. But I've seen so many hogs. People, I smoked him. Like I shot him right in the middle of the ribs. Well, the middle of the ribs on a hog is about where the liver's at, and they can just put their head down and walk and just walk, 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 walk. Because I've shot deer in the liver and gave them 6 hours, go back, follow them to their first bed, and they're laying in it. Pig shot in the liver, you may never find his first bed. He'll walk forever trying to walk it off, I think. And then I have seen where I've come up on beds and he got up, and if you spook him, he's still alive. They're done bleeding all they're going to bleed pretty much, and it is almost impossible to find one then. So if you do marginally hit a hog in the body, in the back, back toward the liver and gut, and you want to really, really find him, I would consider leaving him twice as long as you'd leave a deer, just because they can live a long time. That's been our experience. I mean, we're just a couple of rednecks that have hogs on our deer lease, but over the last 10 years, we've literally killed and been around thousands of dead hogs and thousands of blood. I'm not talking hundreds, I'm talking thousands of blood trails. Seen them shot with everything from a 22 long rifle to a 300 Weatherby, recurves, compound crossbows, just a lot of hog experience. And number one, there's not much funner. Two, a big boar can be just as rewarding as a big trophy buck,
yeah.
but they deserve a lot of respect for horsepower. And like I said, you can't shoot too heavy of an arrow on a hog. Deer don't take that much, but pigs, they'll give them all you can because they're tough, man. Even a small hog can take a licking and keep on ticking, man. Remember that little one I shot in the road? That wasn't with the Grim Reaper carnivore. That was with one of those, one of the smaller cut. That was a fatal steel 1.25 inch. And I'm talking 15-pound pig. I shot it in the middle of the body. Never did find that thing. Just a little bit of gut, remember, on the arrow. And then I killed the mama, the big one, with the same, but a great hit, quartering to me on video. If you watch my other channel, I hit her quartering to right here, come out right there. She went 50 yards, fell over dead. But that piglet I shot with that fatal steel through and through the guts. That little pig never stopped walking, and he never bled. Never found him. And that's the last pig I lost. Um, but it was a small cut, broadhead, and hit him in the guts. But we did have a 200 or 175 pounder on the ground that we were dealing with, so we didn't look too hard, but we looked for it pretty good. Tucker would have been good on the smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
But it's March now. Today's March 4th. I get my I get looked at on March 24th. And that's when I can start weight bearing on this foot. And as soon as they say I'm weight bearing, I can start walking. I'm going to. And the instant they say I can drive, I'm going to. I'm going straight back to the lease. I'm gonna go fill feeders and pull cards, and I'd love to get out and do some hog hunting in the spring, April, towards the end of April. I won't be able to go turkey hunting this year, but I'm ready to get back in the woods and chase some pigs. You?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
What are you jonesing? What are you jonesing to get one on the ground with? You always have so many new weapons, or loads that you've changed. What are you looking forward to shoot one with?
Honestly, my recurve.
Oh yeah, your buffalo.
Yeah. So I shot my. I don't know if I can say. I don't think he made it, but we never found him. We trailed him for. I shot him probably mid liver.
Was that with your buffalo, or was that with
No,
your
that
grizzly?
was with my glass, my grizzly.
Bear glass grizzly?
Yep. Yeah. Shot him, and that actually passed through. That had his wiki on it, and it passed
A
through just
Zwicky
enough,
Eskimo.
and it unscrewed.
Yeah.
Remember we found it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am a little jaded about that, so I really want to get that done.
Okay. Yeah. Get back in one of those sloughs and start chumming right next to a thicket with some big tine. One of our favorite baits for hogs is that big tine. It's called Cherry Rush now, but it used to be called 30-06. It's got like sunflower seeds, corn, Milo, and some kind of cherry Kool-Aid powder smell or something in it. They almost cannot not come to that. If you get back one of them thickets back there, were you talking about tree stand hunting or are you talking about spotting and stalking one?
Well, I'll probably have better luck spotting stalking them. That's what I found. Like
Yeah.
if you're in the tree, and if you're in the tree, I almost feel better walking around and not getting busted than trying to sit in a tree because of how good their smell is and if you get close to them. But then also if I move the wrong way, my personal experience with them is they do have great eyesight.
Yeah.
Maybe not at night, maybe not at dusk, but during the day, I get busted visually by more pigs than deer.
Wow.
And so I probably have better luck spotting and stalking them just because that's usually how I shoot them.
Even with your recurve, you would spot and stalk them.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
here. Hey, what did we say with old Lou Catch? Won't hurt nothing.
It won't hurt nothing. So I encounter them more by walking around than sitting in there and giving them time to get a waft of scent or to see me rustling around in the tree. But I'm going back to how we hunt them intentionally. I have identified one of them as having past experience. There's a there's a hog. There's two hogs that are running together, and going back to where they can visually bust you. There's one pig for sure. I nicknamed Tweaker because I have a theory on this. But if you watch, there's always a pig skirting the outside, always skirting the outside, going around, walking around.
I remember old Tweaker, but you got Tweaker.
God Tweaker. So he busted me a couple times before
Yeah.
we ran up on him in the dark. I didn't even know I shot him. That was the 22
It was the green light on the feeder one night
with my red dot hog hunter, Vortex hog hunter.
Turned him into sausage real quick.
Yes, yes. But he was running with one.
Yeah.
Ever since they were medium-sized pigs, and I watched them get bigger, and he was with that one the night I shot it. Well, just recently, after we set that new area, the one that looks just like him showed up. It could be a different one, but it's pretty. You've seen pictures. It looks pretty much just like
big,
Tweaker.
Pretty big hog. It's a boar too.
It's calico. It's the orange,
black, and white. Kind of peach. Yeah.
So I'm thinking where my feeder sits now. I have those pines that just sit off the catty corner of it. I want to get up there, come in, skirt the outside. But here's a fence right there.
Yeah.
They stay on this side of the fence and skirt up this way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back here, walk around the edge from the water line, and then get up one of those pine trees.
By your feeder?
Yeah.
With your recurve?
With the recurve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am not going to have any of that experience because I have this freaking elephant hoof in the room still.
Yeah.
I think I'll start walking. Well, I go in for the 24th for my checkup. If they say I can walk and I can drive. Once I can walk and drive and get around, I'm not gonna be gung ho to climb a tree yet, but I'll be ground blind in it. So our next trip, we need to plan a trip probably this month sometime. And I'm probably gonna move a feeder or buy a new feeder and set cul-de-sac back up and throw my ground blind up where that I've already talked about this in another podcast, but I'm gonna throw that ground blind up. I bought a brand new brick house. I got that good chair. I'm gonna put it right where the tripod was and put the feeder right back where it was because that's a guaranteed spot to see game.
Yeah.
That I don't have to walk that far. Because Tommy's, if I come either way, I'm gonna be tripping. It's a long walk one way, or I'm gonna be tripping through aspen knees coming, or not aspen, cypress knees.
Through
cypress knees coming the other way. And that I don't want it's stumping. That's what's gonna take me out. I can tell you right now, if I'm walking through deep leaves in a slough, those cypress knees that pop up about that's when I'm perfectly healthy, even running 5Ks.
Yeah.
I trip over those things.
Yeah.
I've got to stay on clean because cul-de-sac road's gonna be my honey hole spot this year. I can walk that road easy.
There's no dips or holes.
Nope. I can walk right down the road, get right in that blind. And hogs and deer travel. I almost wouldn't even need a feeder there. I could almost just throw a handful of corn out and stop them, but I want them in there. So I think I might just shut Tommy's down and move that feeder back. So it'll be empty by the time we get there. Go in the bed of my truck, just move it over there for a while. It's just an easier spot to hunt. Let Tommy's be the decoy for the members, right? Nobody watching this, you didn't hear that. Tommy's can be the decoy, and then I'll go back to cul-de-sac because that's going to be my best bet until I'm sure-footed, and I want to have a place to hunt,
Yeah.
And I can probably get up into treehouse. But that's just a short enough ladder. I could probably 2 hands and a foot hop up in treehouse if I want to sit with a gun over there. But cul-de-sac is
Yeah.
gonna be my best bow hunting spot, and we have that new bow coming I want to set up. So you're gonna be out looking for the legacy of Tweaker in the big slough area back by your new stand, and then I'm gonna just go set. But I want to get out and shoot some hogs, man. That's what we're really talking about here.
Yeah.
We're kind of strategizing while we're podcasting, but I just want to go get in the tent with a Dr. Pepper and a thermocell. Those mosquitoes will carry you off, man. They kill you
Yeah.
down there. And just bow hunt a little bit. But I'm glad to hear you're wanting to bow hunt a little bit too. You know what? That Satori over there is dialed, ready to go. Hunt with it if you want to.
Yeah.
And I got brand new broadheads in there.
Yep, that is mine.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. And then when that don't all work out, we get frustrated. We can break out rifles. My new barreled action just showed up today. Sent one of my Weatherby's to Douglas and had a new barrel on it. I won't talk about it yet, but I turned my 307 into something custom deluxe that I've always wanted. I'll do a whole episode on that. We'll show them once I get it together. But I'm excited about that. Excited for this. I know you got to get going. You got work to do today, and then you got to get. I think you have something with Carson tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So man, it's a good conversation. John Paul's episode launches today. We'll see how that goes. Our preliminary looks like we might have some sound issues to work out, but
yeah,
I think it'll be all right. People will figure it out. And if you have to re-download it, we'll just re-download it and delete the old one. It might mess up our algorithm and likes, but
oh
no, we'll start it over again. But anyway, hope y'all got something out of hog hunting today. Just kind of brainstorming what we want to do and wanted to bring you some facts about hogs for guys that don't really have hogs, want to know about them. And trust me, there's plenty of opportunity in Texas. You don't have to look too far or too hard to find somebody that's got land and hogs that'll let you hunt them, or you can pay to come day hunt them. But that's it for this episode. And remember, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ gave us 2 commandments. He only left us with 2. He said, love thy Father, God, with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love each other as you love yourselves. And that's the most important thing. Just the world needs more love right now. Love on one another. We'll love on you. We love you guys. And please subscribe and like and comment and leave us some comments in there. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Worked. He's down. I gotta go get a cooler because I'm keeping that one. First hunt with the keep hammering. First hunt with the keep hammering. I got him. Beautiful boar, man. He just came in from behind the old stand. Just walked right into the feeder. 18 yards. Smoked him. 4 blade. Grim Reaper carnivore. My lost stone eye. Wow. Wow. What an amazing deal, man. Wow. Can't wait to go look.